Tampa Bay trusts the only news station that's on your side. News Channel 8. From the hills of Fernando, across the Skyway to Sarasota, the Pinellas coastline, and Polk County Pride. Nobody covers Tampa Bay better than News Channel 8. On your side with breaking news, in-depth reporting, and hard-hitting investigations that get results. Trust the one station, the only news station that's always on your side. News Channel 8. Live, this is News Channel 8 at 6 on your side.
Stay down. A Sarasota police officer takes a brutal hit from a speeding car and survives.
We were all concerned with keeping him down on the ground.
Plus, a shot fired at the strip club. Chaos at Mons Venus as bouncers stop a masked gunman.
This fraud committed by some of the insurance companies is more widespread than any of us could have imagined.
8 on Your Side looks into some serious claims by insurance adjusters to Florida lawmakers. They've sparked 2 state investigations. And good evening, I'm Stacy Scheibel.
I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to start with a close call for a Sarasota police officer.
Video shows him taking a direct hit from a speeding car, and we want to show it to you, but be aware it is disturbing. Keep in mind the officer is okay. He's at home recovering. Here's
the body camera video showing the officer on the move. He gets hit, falls to the ground, but you don't truly understand the impact until you see this from another angle. Watch this. The officer's going to end up right in the path of the car. After he's hit, he is thrown, flipping and spinning into the air before landing on the pavement. Moments later, miraculously, the officer gets up and walks away.
This all happened last night at the entrance to Bird Key in Sarasota. Allison Henning now joins us live. And Allison, I know the police chief gave an update on that officer's condition. We're grateful he's fine after what we just saw.
Yeah, no doubt. Stacy, Keith, good evening to you both. Chief Rex Trochet tells us that officer was in good spirits when he spoke with him last night. He says right now he's dealing with some bruises and soreness and swelling, but all in all doing a lot better, again, than most would probably expect after taking a hit like that. This video showing an officer take a direct hit from a fleeing suspect is disturbing and difficult to watch. But Sarasota Police Chief Rex Trochet says his agency released it to show the reality of what officers can face working on the front line, protecting the community.
One of the world's most famous strip clubs came very close to being the scene of a mass murder. This according to Tampa Police Interim Chief Lee Burkaw. This video you're looking at here shows the chaos as security guards at Mons Venus on Dale Mabry Highway confronted a masked, armed man and stopped him from entering the club. This happened early Sunday morning, but we are just now learning about it. Today we actually heard from some of the security guards. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joining us live in Tampa. And Jeff, this looks like it could have been disastrous. Those security guards really deserve that hero title.
Yeah, police said there were more than 200 people in the nightclub at the time this happened. The man was armed and very, very large, but when he tried to enter the Mons Venus nightclub, a security guard who's been an MMA fighter and a professional wrestler jumped in to stop him.
Sunday night, outside of the Mons Venus nightclub, security camera video shows a large man in a red shirt wearing a devil mask as he tries to enter the club with a handgun.
I decided that he was not going to enter the club and hurt anybody.
Tonight, a grieving family wants answers and justice. They are frustrated by the lack of clues and no arrest in the stabbing death of John A. Waller. Her body was found in an alley just off 37th Street North near 2nd Avenue in St. Pete last Friday afternoon. And our Jack Royer joins us now in St. Pete, where he's heard from several of her loved ones. Jack?
Stacy, this family is very much in the throes of grief still, just days after the murder of their loved one. Today, they spoke out in the driveway of their home, trying to find answers and asking for the public's help in finding clues in this brutal murder. The 34-year-old mother of 2 was found stabbed to death in an alleyway on Friday afternoon in St. Pete, pronounced dead at the scene. Waller's 2 daughters, young girls, are now in the care of their grandmother as they ask for the public's help in finding answers.
I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating, I'm not doing my daily living what I would do because I need to find out what happened to my baby. I need to know what happened to her. And it ain't been easy. It ain't been easy.
Right now, breaking news on News Channel 8.
Only the wicked flee when the police try to stop you. And that's what occurred here.
It was a wild scene with shots fired. Right now, we're following the latest on a chase, crash, carjacking, and shooting in Winter Haven. Good evening, I'm Stacy Scheibel.
I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. That pursuit began in Eagle Lake and ended along Havendale Boulevard in Winter Haven.
Justin Schecker joins us now. He is live at the scene, and this is all tied, I understand, to last week's mass shooting in Lakeland, Justin?
That's correct, Stacy and Keith. Good evening to you both. And behind me is where Sheriff Grady Judd says the suspect, 21-year-old Alex Green, crashed the car he carjacked into this business here. We also heard from Lakeland Police Chief Sam Taylor. He says he is confident that Green was involved in that mass shooting from a week ago. Let's show you some video from Eagle 8 HD flying over the massive crime scene here on Havendale Boulevard in Winter Haven. Lakeland Police, with the help of the ATF and FDLE, were conducting surveillance at Green's home in Eagle Lake, just outside of Winter Haven. Sheriff Judd says Green led Lakeland Police on a 10 to 15-minute chase to Havendale Boulevard. Lakeland Police did a pit maneuver to stop Green's truck. The sheriff says Green then carjacked an elderly woman in a restaurant parking lot. The sheriff says Lakeland Police Captain Eric Harper confronted Green, told him to stop, but he didn't, so the captain shot at him 6 times. We're told the suspect then took off, crossed the median, crashed a few blocks down the road into the business. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital.
They could be on the highway right beside you. Florida's interstates are freeways for felons, human traffickers, and drug smugglers. Tonight, 8 on Your Side rides along with the troopers tasked with taking them on a detour to jail.
Good evening, I'm Keith Kate.
And I'm Stacy Scheibel. Thank you for joining us.
The border wars are here in Florida, and it is not just on our shores.
Increasingly, the bad guys are using our highways, possibly in the lane right next to you, to move drugs and people who arrived in America illegally. That's why the state put together a multi-agency strike force to put the brakes on them. In the first year, strike teams made dozens of arrests and seizures, including 8 pounds of fentanyl, 5 pounds of meth and other drugs, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash.
They've also made dozens of human trafficking arrests, and with people coming into the state from the Mexican border through Arizona and Texas, right into Florida on our major highways.
And tonight we have an exclusive look inside. 8 on Your Side's Jeff Patterson rode along with that strike force as they targeted human traffickers and drug dealers on the road. Jeff, fascinating.
Yeah, these Florida Highway Patrol troopers never know from day to day who they will be pulling over or who they will encounter. They may pull over someone who is just driving a little fast or who are just making some kind of a traffic violation, but they are also trained to look deeper, finding drugs and people who are being brought into our state illegally.
There are more than 1,400 miles of interstate in Florida, and on any given day, those highways are used to transport drugs and people entering our country illegally. In Martin County, a state trooper makes a basic traffic stop.
So basically, it's a traffic stop conducted for a traffic violation.
Take a closer look, and you'll see the troopers are now focused on several bottles of Windex, but something just doesn't look right. The troopers have discovered a shipment of liquid meth.
The liquid meth was found in Windex bottles, and that's to try to keep you from thinking that that's what that is.
A field test confirms the illegal substance, but it was initially just a visual inspection that led to the arrest.
Right next to the illegal substance that had the meth in it was a valid Windex bottle that didn't, and the colors are different. There's, you can visually see that it's not the same thing.
The troopers take 2 people into custody. One is a man with a long criminal history.
After speaking with the individual, they learned that he's a convicted felon. They found a firearm in the car. He's got a lengthy criminal history for drugs.
This is a special strike force of the Florida Highway Patrol, including the FDLE, local sheriff's offices, and the Border Patrol.
We chose this area as one that we haven't been to in quite some time.
This week, they are in Martin County. The Florida Highway Patrol has 26 of these specialized teams.
They're strategically placed throughout the state to combat and to intercept or prevent criminals and illegal commodities from traveling up and down the highways.
In a recent case in Hernando County, state troopers found a vehicle packed with 7 men. None spoke any English, and none had any identification. This was the 5th human smuggling case on Interstate 75 in just 2 weeks, as troopers have often focused on Sumter and Hernando counties.
Sumter County is unique in one in particular aspect, that it has I-75 and the Turnpike.
Those major highways funnel into the rest of the state.
It's kind of a crossroads, if you will, for smuggling.
The Highway Patrol Task Force charged 42 people with human smuggling in a 1-year period, captured 38 fugitives, and seized 30 guns. But it's not an easy job. We watched the strike force pull over a truck driver, thinking they were about to make a drug arrest.
So a trooper made a stop on this pickup truck, and the driver told them that he was driving up to Atlanta pulling this load and being paid for $600. The size of the load, the amount he's being paid, the distance traveled simply doesn't add up to these state troopers, and a specially trained dog alerted that there might be drugs somewhere inside of this trailer.
They closely examined every part of the vehicle and trailer, even using a portable X-ray device to look into hidden areas of the truck. Eventually, they found no drugs and released the driver. But it's the stops where they do find drugs, illegal weapons, and felons that keep them going. And for most in this special strike force, it's not just a job, it's personal.
Make the roads safer. A lot of us have kids. All of us have family members, of course, that we want to keep safe, and it hits home more often than not.
Sergeant Ogden says his team lives to do this job. They are chosen because they are highly motivated and successful at what they do. At the same time, people involved in human trafficking or selling illegal drugs are motivated to do what they do, each trying to keep a step ahead of the other.
Keith and I had the same question, Jeff, and that is, how do they know who to pull over? What are they looking for? What tips them off?
Well, initially it's just a regular traffic stop. Somebody driving a little too fast, somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, just somebody making an illegal action on the highway that starts it. But then when someone is a little bit more nervous than they should be, the strike force moves into action. Somebody breathing a little heavy or sweating and so forth. So we all get nervous when we get pulled over. At least, I do if I get a traffic ticket. But it's the people who are a little bit more nervous, a little extra nervous. That's when they bring in these specially trained dogs and they start searching for the drugs, checking for an ID, asking questions of everyone in the car. And in one case, Sergeant Ogden tells me they rescued a victim of sex trafficking just by asking the right questions.
They are trained to do that, and it wasn't just luck the day that you were there that you saw something happen. You say this could happen every day.
Every single day with this strike force. They are highly motivated.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Excellent job. What do Ron DeSantis, Disney World, and King Charles have in common? They're all characters in the ongoing political drama involving Florida's governor and the happiest place on earth.
Today, the governor ordered an investigation into a last-minute move by the now disbanded Reedy Creek Board aimed at retaining Disney's self-governing power. Jack Royer is live in studio with this strange new twist. Jack.
Didn't think we'd be talking about King Charles this week, Keith and Jen, but here we are. Some might say it would make a good movie itself. Disney's once self-governing board making a last-minute move to hold on to their power and name-checking the King of England in the process. The governor now wants a full investigation, something the company's CEO today called retaliation. Out in the open at a public meeting, the now disbanded Reedy Creek Board made a move that apparently few noticed until now. In an effort to thwart Governor DeSantis' stripping of Disney's self-governing power, the company used an obscure legal clause to retain some of its self-governance until 21 years after the death of the last descendant of King Charles III. Yes, you heard that right.
Don't mess with Mickey. You don't mess with the mouse.
Tara Newsom is a lawyer and political analyst who says this strange move seems to have everyone asking questions.
I think this is clearly a head scratcher that the governor is backtracking once again to go after Disney in clear connection with their comments regarding the Don't Say Gay bill.
The governor today calling for an investigation amid the feud spanning a year following the company's denouncement of the parental rights and education law. Republican lawmakers moved to strip Disney of its special governing district and replace it with a board appointed by DeSantis, a move CEO Bob Iger took aim at today.
The governor got very angry about the position Disney took, and it seems like he's decided to retaliate against us, in effect to seek to punish a company for its exercise of a constitutional right. And that just seems really wrong to me.
The board's move retains power for Disney and strips it from the newly appointed Central Florida Tourism Oversight Board. That came as a shock to board members last week.
This board loses, for practical purposes, the majority of its ability to do anything beyond maintain the roads and maintain basic infrastructure.
Today, DeSantis called on the Inspector General to investigate the legality of the move, which came just before the state takeover.
Simply to retaliate for a position the company took sounds not just anti-business, but it sounds anti-Florida.
Setting up a new storyline between the governor and the House of Mouse.
The governor wants to know if the move was legal and if Disney executives were involved in the decision-making process. Disney says it was perfectly legal because it was done in a public, open forum in accordance with Florida's Sunshine Law. And while Disney says it's retaliation, DeSantis nor Republicans have ever made that direct connection. Jack Royer, 8 on your side.
Hurricane Idalia batters Florida, and 8 on your side got you through it.
Has been rapidly rising.
Giving you the critical information you need to stay safe.
An hour away from landfall.
Very serious flooding that does appear to be getting worse.
I'm standing right now in the Gulf of Mexico.
Stationed up and down the Gulf Coast.
This is what's happening in Pasco County. That also means it's shut down.
22 hours of continuous live coverage to get you through the worst of it. Trust the team that's always on your side. News Channel 8.
All right, Jeff Patterson is live in Cedar Key this morning. Hey, Jeff.
Good morning, guys. Well, as the sun is starting to come up, we can really start to see some of the impact of exactly what's going on. I'm going to have Joy Capistrand take a look down the street. We actually had to move our vehicle right where the water is cresting right now is where we were parked earlier. And for those who have been watching us for some time, I was standing down there in the water next to a small inn that is close to the Gulf of Mexico, and the first floor of that building was flooded. It was about above my knees. It is now significantly higher than that.
Hello, and welcome to Surviving the Storm. I'm Max Defender 8 Chief Meteorologist and Climate Specialist Jeff Baradelli. We are here on the Gulf Coast in Lee County, one of the world's most desirable tourist destinations. But this place of astonishing natural beauty was also the site of one of the country's most destructive natural disasters, Hurricane Ian. It's been months since the storm laid waste to this region, and still so much destruction remains. And let me tell you, even today, images do not do it justice. Over this hour, our News Channel 8 team will explain how close Hurricane Ian came to making landfall in Tampa Bay, and how much worse the damage here might have been. We'll also show you how to prepare today to help you survive the next storm. There will never be another Hurricane Ian. The World Meteorological Organization retired the name due to the death and destruction the storm caused. Let's take a closer look at this monumental event. The wind, the water.
Really biblical storm surge, and it washed away roads, it washed away structures.
$113 billion in property loss and miles upon miles of utter destruction.
I've never seen damage like this. I've lived here my whole life. It's unreal.
And death. Ian is blamed for at least 156 fatalities in the U.S., 66 directly connected to the storm, mainly due to flooding in Lee County.
This was the worst that I've ever seen in my lifetime, and I've been through quite a few.
This hurricane season, trust News Channel 8 and NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
It does seem like extreme weather is getting worse. We are on the front lines here in Florida. We're seeing these stronger hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico.
People are now coming to the understanding that climate change is real. We think it's very important to talk about these issues because it's important that we put these events in perspective. We have got to figure out a way to be ready.
It's time to prepare. Trust News Channel 8 and NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt on your side.
Well, Medicare recipients all across the Bay Area have been bombarded with shipments of COVID-19 tests they never ordered.
And they have tried to stop it by complaining to Medicare. The folks have requested, in fact, that these unwanted tests not be covered by Medicare funds, but so far nothing has changed. Our consumer investigator Shannon Bacon first told us about these unusual shipments last month, and she continues to dig for answers.
Keith, Stacey, and when you take a look at this, these tests were sent to one person's house. If Medicare is being billed for something you didn't order, it's fraud, and taxpayers are getting ripped off. So I went to the U.S. Assistant Inspector General to find out what's being done about these bogus claims. I know you're investigating the criminals, but are you investigating the people at Medicare who continue to pay these bogus claims?
Before we get to that, let me explain how we got here.
This one is from Pompano Beach. Well, here's one from Illinois. Just ridiculous.
Last month, the Department of Justice charged 18 people with COVID-related fraud, including 2 people in Florida, accused of buying Medicare numbers and submitting over $8.4 million for COVID tests.
Do you expect additional arrests?
So I can't comment on that, but I will say that we have an ongoing number of investigations in this area. It certainly has our attention, and we are committed to stopping all instances of fraud involving over-the-counter COVID-19 test kits.
Trust the station that's on your side. News Channel 8.
This time it's 2,000.
Okay.
So they went up 300 and change.
Charles Frankel is stressed. The St. Pete homeowner has to fork out $2,000 for flood insurance. His premium through Citizens, the state insurer of last resort, is nearly $3,000, and soon his property taxes will be due. The trouble is, the cost of living in Florida just keeps going up. But Charles's income, Social Security, and a very small pension isn't keeping up.
It's a lot of things to worry about at my age. The flood insurance, you have to pay the whole thing. The regular insurance, you can make payments.
Charles loves this house, and he's already taken some drastic steps to stay here. He put an ad in the paper rent. He's been living with a roommate for years, but now he tells me even that is not enough to afford to stay in this neighborhood.
They fought for their country, but when these veterans needed help, they turned to 8 on Your Side senior investigator Walt Buteau for results.
Shouldn't the government have given you the benefits without a news story?
Yeah.
You earned them, right?
Yeah.
From denied benefits to healthcare delays, Walt stands up for our veterans.
Does that happen without the story that we did about you?
Never.
8 on Your Side's Walt Buteau, giving a voice to veterans.
Thank you again for everything you did.
Only on News Channel 8.
PTSD impacts thousands of Florida veterans, and the number of those being diagnosed is growing.
Tonight, we take you north to a retreat that has a unique approach to helping them live with their struggles and begin the healing process. 8 on Your Side's Walt Buteau is here now with more.
Jen and Keith, it is a simple approach to a complex problem of post-traumatic stress disorder. When troops become veterans, their structure is gone, but for many, scars remain. Veterans come here to Melrose, Florida to heal wounds you don't see.
And they get to dark places sometimes.
Some served as far back as Vietnam, half a century ago, when they were not always welcomed home.
These boys committed their life to their country, and to come home and get spit on, heart-wrenching.
Welcome to Soldiers Freedom Outdoors, where life's as simple as a horseback ride and wetting a hook on this pond. No louder than a rooster's wake-up call or a day in the blacksmith shop. It's the opposite of war.
Absolutely, 100%.
Jason Busey is a Soldiers Freedom Board member. He was a tough-as-nails Marine who lost friends, faced death, but made it home only to face new struggles.
And some of these are sometimes it's life-changing, right?
The camp changed his life, reluctantly.
That's it. I don't need your doggone retreat. I don't need it.
He tells me the free-of-charge, non-profit camp showed him what it's taught hundreds of others battling PTSD.
It's not something that can't be fixed. You just need to learn what the triggers are and cope with it.
Thank you for joining us for our Honoring Black History Town Hall, the State of Black Tampa Bay. I'm Deanne King. Tonight, we'll be discussing topics and issues that affect our Black communities all over the Tampa Bay area. Difficult topics, including law enforcement, Black home ownership, and how Black history is taught in our schools. Over the next hour, we will hear from local experts, civic and community leaders, and educators. Our goal is to discuss these issues, question lawmakers, and look for possible solutions. And of course, we'll hear from you, the people who live in Tampa Bay. We'll address some of your concerns directly, concerns like these.
If we really aren't teaching CRT or we're not being allowed to, what's going to replace that?
Our panel of experts are waiting to offer some answers. We will get started right after this.
Hey, Tampa Bay, it's time to paint this town red.
Let's go, Bucks fans.
Are you talking to me? I'm ready.
Raise the flags, fire the cannons.
It's a pirate's life for me.
This is our house.
And this is our house.
Tampa Bay, get loud.
Hey, nice pass.
It's all about teamwork. Can you feel the excitement? Let's do this.
This is our town, and these are our teams on News Channel 8.
Your official Buck station.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Lee.
And I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us. We are your official Buck station, and right behind me, you see the lights? That's Raymond James Stadium. That's where all the action is tonight.
Ray J, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are hosting the Dallas Cowboys tonight. Kickoff in just about an hour. The first step on the road to the big game.
The Bucks.
It's win or go home, so all those emotions are out there. Everybody's ready to play.
You can't get up next Sunday if you lose this ball game.
Ready for this do-or-die game against the Cowboys.
As you guys can see, this season was rough. It was a battle to get here. So
no one wants to go home this time of year. Everybody's fighting for every play, every yard. Everything is so meaningful.
Will Tom Brady move on to claim his 8th Super Bowl win, or could the Bucs get eliminated in what could be the GOAT's last season?
Coming your way from your official Bucs station, our Bucs playoff coverage begins right now. And you are looking live from Eagle 8 HD, a rather cool but a beautiful evening at Raymond James Stadium.
It's a sellout crowd there tonight. 66,000 fans set to watch the Bucs host the Cowboys. This epic showdown between these two teams, a rematch from Week 1, and the Bucs are hoping for a repeat. And of course, your official Bucs station has team coverage. Jack Royer is hanging out with the Bucs Nation. Chief meteorologist Jeff Baradelli has your game time forecast. But first, let's get right to sports anchors Dan Lucas and Karen Loftus.
Good evening, guys. We're outside here as the fans are making their way in. The gates are open here at Ray J, and I have to tell you, walking out, we passed by Joe Buck and Troy Aikman calling the action tonight for the network, and that gives you the feel. Oh, this is the big stage. We are here. We're ready.
It does. And I'm going to steal the lines from all the players and coaches this week. It's win or go home, the highest stakes, whole new season, as Levante David said.
I'm glad you mentioned Levante David, because all afternoon and evening, we've been talking about the young guys, the rookies, the guys who've been here 3 years, have been in the playoffs all 3 years. Think about Levante David, the longest tenured Buck right now, and also Mike Evans, Will Golston, these players who did not get to do this for a long time. This is new to them as well, or their 3rd straight year. And in the case of David, it took him 9 years to get to his first postseason. He's not taking this one for granted.
It takes a while to get here. It's hard to get here. So as you guys can see, this season was rough. It was a battle to get here. So we're here now, but definitely don't take these opportunities for granted.
Luke, what are you doing?
Shit, I'm thinking. I'm getting rid of my sensitive documents and electronics.
Hold on, there's a better way.
The 8 on Your Side Shred-a-thon presented by Truist is April 22nd at Raymond James Stadium. Vital Records Control and Urban E-Recycling will shred up to 4 boxes of personal documents and select electronics for free. The 8 on Your Side Shred-a-thon is April 22nd.
Tonight, we take the grandest football journey with Buccaneers legend Rondé Barber. 16 NFL seasons built from a humble first year to his finest moment with the game on the line. The kid from Virginia who showed us the world and the love of raising a family. We'll hear from friends, teammates, and a proud twin brother. It's a Hall of Fame celebration for number 20. It's Rondé's Road to Canton. Rondé Barber waves to the crowd before Thursday night's Hall of Fame game. One of 9 members introduced before the Jets and the Browns played on Friday. It is Gold Jacket night. Then Saturday, enshrinement, and Rondé revealing the bust to become a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Good evening and welcome to Rondé's Road to Canton. Tonight, we're going to celebrate another Buccaneers legend heading into the hallowed Hall of Fame here in Canton, Ohio. Now, Rondé's 16-year career with the Bucs made him a lot of fans. It's one of the reasons he's here tonight. But this is about more than football. This is about Rondé, the twin brother, Rondé, the husband, Rondé, the father. It is a lifetime of greatness that led here to Canton, Ohio. So it's a journey of sorts. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. But to get into the Hall of Fame, it first begins with a door knock.
And once again, my friend, you are now my teammate. Welcome to Canton, Rondé Barber.
To really feel Rondé Barber's Hall of Fame experience, you have to begin with Derrick Brooks, the 3rd Hall of Famer in Bucs history. It was Brooks who knocked on the door at Rondé's house to deliver the news.
I think when he probably saw me walking up in the jacket, he had a good indication I was bringing good news. But to be honest with you, Dan, until you actually hear the words and see, you can be as prepared as you think you want to be. Yes. But there's always a moment that hits you.
The initial emotion was just relief. You know, it was finally get to feel this experience. I've seen 3 of my teammates go through it.
Rondé Barber, your time's coming, man.
It's doing our part in the community we call home.
It's about rolling up your sleeves and getting down to work.
It's about lending a hand to those in need. Making Tampa Bay a better place to live.
That's what 8 on Your Side is all about.
8 on Your Side.
En vivo y a tu lado, esto es Noticias Tampa hoy a las 9.
No venimos preparados, es la verdad.
2 vuelos con migrantes llegan directo a California desde la frontera mexicana, uno de ellos al parecer vinculado al estado de Florida. Además, invasión de morada en la bahía de Tampa queda captada en cámara. Autoridades buscan a estos sospechosos. Y un país de Latinoamérica toma estrictas medidas para detener la inmigración ilegal y el tráfico humano en las fronteras de su país.
Live from our hurricane headquarters with real-time analysis from some of the nation's top meteorologists. This is Tracking the Tropics, powered by Bose Electric.
The tropics highly active in June. Tropical Storm Brett followed by what's expected to be Tropical Storm Cindy soon, and another wave emerging off the coast of Africa right behind the other 2. Our team is live in the Wfla Now Stream Center to answer your questions, provide you with the very latest on, again, the tropics and how active they are this June, the first month of hurricane season. Hello there, folks. JB here with you live in the Wfla Now Stream Center on Tracking the Tropics, powered by Bose Electric. We have in the top right-hand portion of your screen, of course, mainstay on Tracking the Tropics, meteorologist Amanda Holly. Joining us from WCBD in Charleston, Grace Lowe, meteorologist there. She's our featured meteorologist today. We'll be hearing from Grace momentarily. On the bottom of your screen, you see the stream alert that we have scrolling. If you're looking for streaming coverage of the missing Titan sub, that will resume at approximately 12:45 Eastern time. We're going to be hearing from Grace, but first we're going to start with meteorologist Amanda Holly to go down really a train of systems that we have across the Atlantic today. Use a hashtag on screen, and that goes for our YouTube live audience as well. We can answer your questions. Hashtag HeyJB from Russell Bradford from WMBB's Facebook page. I vote hurricane season to be canceled. And then asking about the course, which we just went over. But Grace, what do you make of June being so active so far as the beginning of the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season?
It's certainly shocking.
This is the Sunshine State, a piece of paradise. It is our pleasure to give you a forecast that fits your Florida lifestyle.
Max Defender 8!
Like you, we're living it and loving it here too. Max Defender 8 weather is on your side.
And we're pumped because here we are once again at a Gasparilla. What a great, beautiful day it's turned out to be.
It's a gorgeous day. Beautiful weather for a pirate parade. In fact, a vast improvement over last year. 55 degrees was the high that we hit last year. It was chilly. This year we've got slightly cloudy skies, the sun peeking through in the 60s. The crowd is massive, and we are in store for a great day of pirate fun. We have our own plundering privateer on the parade route, our very own. You know him as Josh Benson. Here today, we know him as Josh Sparrow. Hey, Josh.
Hey, guys, how you doing? Josh Sparrow live on the ground level for you. We're going to bring you all the action down here. As you can see, down yonder, the parade is about to start. Let's get a feel for what we're going to deal with today. Rob, walk with me. Let's go across the street here and see some of these pirate fans. Hey, guys, how are you? Let's get it going. Let's go.
At News Channel 8, we believe in building a stronger community together.
Professional.
News Channel 8 is on your side.
Coming up on Daytime, the majestic beauty of wild horses.
And the stars of Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret, on the red carpet. All that and more because Daytime, presented by California Closets, starts now.
Hi, and welcome to Daytime, presented by California Closets. I'm Farron Hipp.
I'm Maggie Rodriguez. Thanks so much for joining us today.
I'm excited. You got meat, and I want to master it.
Okay, don't be nervous. I'm going to walk you through everything.
Okay, all different types of meat, too.
Yep, so we're going to start with a New York strip. A New York strip steak is very easily identifiable, and it is available at any grocery market. It's a very lean cut of meat, and I think everybody should learn how to cook a New York strip. You want to start on something that's tender, maybe has just the right amount of fat, but that's not too expensive.
Okay, I like that.
Right? You don't want to start with a filet mignon or anything.
Okay.
I'm Gail Guayardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, a full hour dedicated to your health and wellness, so get ready to bloom. Today, we're exploring ways to boost your health, from cutting-edge technology to ancient treatments doctors believe can help you fight depression. We have a great lineup of guests today, but let's start with March. It's Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and there is an alarming new data out there about the number of younger adults being diagnosed with colorectal cancer. According to the American Cancer Society's latest colorectal cancer report, 1 in 5 new cases are among those in their early 50s or younger. But there is an innovative technology now available in Tampa where people can get virtual colonoscopies. We are one of only 5 places in the country that have this kind of access to this technology.
Y así comienza Todo Tampa Bay, presentado por Central Florida Behavioral Health Network.